Dodger Stadium is one of the most popular baseball stadiums in the world. Opened in 1962 and is also the home of your World Series champs, the Los Angeles Dodgers. I can sit here all day talking about how awesome the Dodgers are, but today I wanted to talk about something very unique and also something very vague about these two Monster Jam events that we don't really talk about today. But you may say, oh yeah, I remember they did that. But I feel like I want to clear some things up about these events. Because after these two shows they went to Dodger Stadium, they never returned. And why is that? So today, I'm going to be taking some of your guys' time to talk about when the time Monster Jam raided Dodger Stadium. Our story begins on January 29th, 2011. Monster Jam returned to the infamous Angel Stadium to host one of their shows for the 2011 season. After another successful show in Anaheim for 2 continuous weeks, it was announced for the next stop for the tour, they were going to head to Los Angeles for the very first time at Dodger Stadium. This was such very exciting news for Monster Jam fans and also Dodger fans too. When the day finally came on February 16th, 2011, the news was storming of excitement. There were so many behind the scene pictures that were being shared on the internet, with dirt being poured into the floor of the stadium. This was truly shaping up to be an amazing event for Monster Jam. But unfortunately, nature struck the event, and actually, on the event day, the track was fully rained out and muddy. But that didn't stop this event. There was a 16 truck lineup for the first show. The trucks that appeared were as follows: Charlie Palkin, Gravedigger; Adam Anderson, Gravedigger the Legend; Tom Mintz, Maximum Destruction; Candice Jolly and Monster Mutt Dalmatian, Nitro Circus with Cam McLean; Becky Madonna and Dragon's Breath; Darren Basil and El Matador; Scott Beto and Iron Man; David Smith and King Crunch; Andrew Packham and the M2D Camo Thunder truck; Rick Swanson in Obsessed; Jeff Jones in Obsession; Pat Gerber in Shocker; Mark Schrader in The Felon; Dan Rondai in The Patriot; and Kelvin Raymer in Time Flies. Now this was a pretty stacked lineup for this event. Now remember how I said this show was in rainy conditions? Well, this unfortunately canceled the live broadcast portion for the TV channel Speed at that time. But the regular scheduled show went on. So this kind of makes this event lost media if you think about it. But there's some YouTube videos that were posted showcasing the event. But here's the event results. Alright, so unfortunately, I wasn't able to find all of the races footage because those are pretty much really lost, and the ones that have been posted are mostly ones from like the semifinals and the finals round. So without further ado, we're just going to look at those and then we're just going to move on for freestyle. In the first semifinals round, Maximum Destruction will defeat Gravedigger the Legend in this crazy spin out from Gravedigger the Legend. And King Crunch will get defeated by Gravedigger. So in the final round of racing, it was another classic clash of the two iconic trucks at that time, Gravedigger and Maximum Destruction. And at the end of the racing competition, Tom Mintz and Maximum Destruction will walk away with another racing win against Charlie Palkin and Gravedigger. With the spectacular racing competition out of the way, it was time for freestyle. Now, freestyle was kind of not really the best since the rain conditions made the track very muddy and also allowed the trucks to spin out once in a while. But it was a really good and fun, exciting time for freestyle. Overall, this show was not really the best show in my opinion because of the muddy conditions made the track slick and made the truck spin out for like their stunts to do and also for racing too. But I gotta be honest, it's a pretty good first debut for Monster Jam, making their way slowly to LA area territory, you know, and of course at the legendary Dodger Stadium. But our story doesn't end there. In 2012, another Monster Jam season was underway. Lots of shows were happening in California, such as Anaheim, San Diego, and even the return back to Dodger Stadium. Now this was very exciting because this show, there was no rain. So the show was truly going to be spectacular and an unforgettable experience for the LA fans. This lineup was another staggering 16 trucks. And I gotta be honest, this lineup is pretty strong. Kicking things off with Gravedigger, Charlie Palkin, Neil Elliott and Maximum Destruction, Adam Anderson and Gravedigger the Legend, David Bradshaw and Monster Energy, Chad Fortune and Captain America, Lindsay Wink and Lucas Oil Crusader, Dan Evans and the Team Hot Wheels Firestorm, Leo Donald and Iron Man, Darren Miguez and Bounty Hunter, Brian Deegan and Metal Militia, Rick Swanson and Obsessed, J.R. McNeil and Raising Cane, Ben Winslow and Iron Outlaw, Jim Lenortis, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but he was an obsession, Chuck Warner and El Toro Loco, and last, Scott Sweat and Ice Cream Man. Now this event was really good. Lots of great races and an awesome rematch from 2011 from Gravedigger, The Legend, and Maximum Destruction. Once again, no different from last year, Tom Mintz will take another racing champion away. And freestyle was no stranger because it was a very entertaining and fun watch. Lots of great moments, lots of great freestyles and crashes, but the one that would win it all would be David Bradshaw and Monster Energy, taking home the freestyle win. And that pretty much sums up the history of Monster Jam and Dodger Stadium. But you may be still asking, why haven't they come back? Or why did they stop going to that venue? Well, I know you're all waiting for an answer. But with all my research skills at full use for this video, unfortunately I wasn't able to uncover why Monster Jam stopped going to Dodger Stadium. But let's be brutally honest here. I think it's very well known why they stopped going to Dodger Stadium. Since Crypto Arena opened in downtown LA and also in Inglewood, they opened the brand new, fresh and new SoFi Stadium. And it must have been seen like that Monster Jam saw how popular and how massive those venues got for their events that were hosting in there. So it's possible that Monster Jam found its two alternate venues that best suited for its needs. You know, as big as it gets. And Dodger Stadium became a primary use for only baseball. So this means Dodger Stadium can't really host motorsports since it would require lots of modifications to ensure safety, response plans, and noise mitigation measurements. Since Dodger Stadium is up on a mountain and nearby homes are around the stadium, I'm pretty sure that nobody wants to hear the sound of this at 9 o'clock at night. That Dodger Stadium lacks is the necessary infrastructure to support motorsports. So like the track, pit lanes, or fueling stations. Well, that's only for NASCAR, I just want to throw that in. But as that may sound pretty disappointing and sad to know, it's still awesome to believe that Dodger Stadium and Monster Jam has some history together. and hosted pretty unforgettable events for the LA fans. And today, LA is still one of the biggest cities Monster Jam visits every year for their season, and even hosted World Finals 23 last year in SoFi Stadium. But to conclude this video, Dodger Stadium was a very good venue to use for Monster Jam at that time. It went from a mudfest of a nothing show to a year later a spectacular and unforgettable event. Glad Monster Jam chose to get started with their LA shows with the home of your Los Angeles Dodgers. And well, my friends, that concludes another retrospect video today on the Monster Jam RC channel. Please hit subscribe and make sure to hit the like button for more awesome videos coming to the channel. And like I always say, this is Monster Jam RC, and this is Hayden signing out.